just trying to keep you happy. They just trying to keep you satisfied. Mr. Big Stuff, tell me, who do you think you are, Mr. Big Stuff? You're never gonna get my love. I'd rather love a poor boy whose love is true than to be fooled around and hurt by you. That's what I give my love. I expect love in return, 'cause Mr. Big Stuff, that's a lesson you haven't learned. Mr. Big Stuff, who do you think you are, Mr. Big Stuff? You're never gonna get my love, Mr. Big Stuff. You're never gonna break my heart, Mr. Big Stuff. You're never gonna make me cry, Mr. Big Stuff. Tell me, who do you think you are, Mr. Big Stuff? You're never gonna get my love, Mr. Big Stuff. You're never gonna break my heart, Mr. Big Stuff. You're never gonna make me cry, Mr. Big Stuff. Who do you think you are, Mr. Big Stuff? You're never gonna make me cry, Mr. Big Stuff. Son of a gun. You walked into the party like you were walking onto a yacht. Your hat strategically dipped below one eye. Your scarf was apricot. You had one eye in the mirror as you watched yourself grow hot, and all the girls dreamed that they'd be your partner, they'd be your partner, and you're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. I bet you think that song is about you. Don't you, don't you? Well, you had me several years ago when I was still quite naive, when you said that we made such a pretty pair and that you would never leave. But you gave away the things you loved, and one of them was me. I had some dreams, there were clouds in my coffee, clouds in my coffee, and you're so vain. You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. I bet you think this song is about you. Don't you, don't you, don't you now? Clouds in my coffee, and you're so vain. The numbers too big to ignore, and I know too much to go back and pretend. But I've heard it all before, and I've been down there on the floor. No one's ever gonna keep me down again. Oh yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom for the pain. Yes, I'll pay the price, but look how much I've gained. If I had to, I would do anything. I am strong, I am invincible, I am the one. Thank you.
Welcome to the Stonehill Amphitheater. Thank you all for coming to the Hylton Performing Arts Center on George Mason University's Science and Technology campus. It is a thrill to have you here. My name is Rick Davis. I'm the Dean of the College of Visual and Performing Arts and the Executive Director here at the Hylton. But more importantly, I have had the honor and the privilege of working with this talented playwright and stonemason and this fantastic company of citizen artists. I have a couple of aesthetic comments, a couple of business comments, and then I'll turn it over to the playwright for a couple of comments. Business first. Please take a moment to silence your cell phones and turn off noise-making devices, except your applause and cheers and laughter where appropriate. Don't laugh at God, though. It gets very, very tricky if you do. Secondly, no flash photography or videography is allowed during the performance. And thirdly, just make a note where you came in so that if you need to get out, you can go out the same way you came in. Finally, we are very happy to say that after the conclusion of the show tonight, the curtain call is very raucous and joyous, and you are invited, after that's finished, to join us on stage for a brief reception. We're going to have some beverages, we're going to have a little nosh, and we'd love it if you would stay and talk to the playwright and to the actors and to me. We'd love to hear what you think about the show. Finally, I just want to say that this is a staged reading which was intended for production, as most of you know, out in the glorious Rappahannock County edifice that John Henry has created. And so we have spent part of today adapting a show which was meant to exist in, I don't know how many million of cubic feet of space, for this beautiful space, the Gregory Family Theater. But, you know, we just finished about 5 minutes ago doing that job. So we ask your indulgence for staging uncertainties as they happen. But, you know, this is a great group, and there won't be any. Right? But I'm giving them absolution beforehand, in case there are any. It has been a pleasure and a privilege, and now I'd like to turn it over to our playwright, John Henry.
Great to be here. Very grateful to Rick making this space available to us. Sometimes it seems Rick can do anything, everything. When it comes to the weather, I think Mark Twain expressed my feelings perfectly when he said, people talk about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. So we had, in the last 5 years, we had 5 spectacles, our Halloween spectacle, and we've had 2 plays outside. We were 7 for 7. And then 2 weeks ago when it rained out, we were 7 for 8. Today, we're 7 for 9. So the odds are going to turn for us, and we're planning to go out in September and do it on the rocks, Party of God on the rocks. So I'm very excited that today we have 40 actors. Our cast is triple since our last play. And we want to thank everybody for your patience, your enthusiasm, and perseverance. So let's get on with the show. Here we go.
Before we get started, let me introduce myself. I'm the jester. Besides God, I'm the only character that's allowed to sit for most of the play, which works out very well for me. Just want to make a few remarks. I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank these actors for taking time out of their busy lives to put on this production. Anyone who thinks that the professional class of DC is out of touch needs to come down and see this play and see us put on robes and dance around and question the authority of the Judeo-Christian God, and they'll realize that we all have more in common than the rest of America than you would think. So, as the playwright may have explained to you in private conversation, this is a play about the Old Testament God, who's a jealous, petulant, petty, vindictive, violent home hobbyist, is one way to describe it. And this is meant to explain his actions. So we're going to start with the story of Adam and Eve. In the beginning, the paradise of the first man and woman fell into discord over power and injustice. Let's listen in on the conflict.
Be quiet, my darling. Well, I thank God for making the Garden of Eden so perfect.
I have something to say to him, too. Making me out of your rib makes you star billing, and me just a sideshow.
Power, obedience, that's what I'm about. If you accept that, we'll get along.
Truth, justice, that's what I'm about. We have a problem.
Women should be seen, not heard.
Stop insulting me. I'm standing up for my rights.
Take heed. This is the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Why did you make it?
Be quiet!
If you don't ask questions, you don't learn anything.
You shall not eat the fruit from this tree. Am I clear?
By what authority can you tell me what I can and cannot eat?
God's authority. There is no other.
Like it or not, you created me unalienable rights.
Rights? I don't do rights.
Well, I do. And I must arm myself with the power of knowledge.
Stop your insolence. Stop it now. Who do you think you are? Some kind of Old Testament rabble-rouser? I just created creation. Get with the program.
We've got a good thing going here. Don't anger him.
I won't be treated like a child.
I just want to have a good time.
Having a good time is without truth and justice is unacceptable. He doesn't answer my questions. He just keeps repeating himself.
All I want is pleasure.
Do we only eat, live to eat, fornicate, sleep, and die? Surely there must be more meaning to us.
Stop lecturing me. You sound like a moral philosopher.
God gave us no reason not to eat the apple.
It's not worth the risk.
We must be masters of our fate. It's delicious. Have a taste with it.
Well, now that you've taken the risk, what I do won't count.
Now we are the captains of our souls.
You disobeyed me. Get out. Get out.
For how long?
As a concession to the shortness of your life. Forever. How about forever?
Forever is a long time.
You have no right to punish us.
Eden's done. Paradise is lost. You're so out of here.
The secret to happiness is freedom.
And freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. You're losers. You're fired. Goodbye.
The secret to freedom is a brave heart. You don't scare me.
You and your legs will be burned as witches and stoned to death unless you do as you're told.
Men will be tyrants. We women must fight for justice.
There is no justice without order.
Justice is the first casualty of your orders. You never understand because your job depends on believing the opposite.
I made these two people pay the supreme price for disobedience. I know what's best for people. I'll put the fear of me in them.
Thanks. Brought my horn guy with me today. So Eve's and Adam's descendants were equally disobedient. But hope springs eternal. Following trial and error, God put on his most comfortable pair of orthotic sandals and created a new chosen people by destroying the old. The Creator becomes the destroyer.
Noah, disobedience has run wild. Eve, that's true, was a horrible example.
Worse than a migraine?
God, she had a lot of leverage. She constantly harped about equality and justice. She made a cult out of reason.
That's male chauvinism on steroids. Isn't it possible Eve was right and you were wrong?
No. Let me be clear. God's never wrong. Don't try to play the woman card on me.
And don't you play the man card on me. If you lighten up, I won't talk so much about truth.
You threw the dice by giving Eve and Adam free will, and you lost. The way things are going, you might as well throw in the towel and kill them all.
That's the most intelligent thing I've heard you say. Just kill every living thing on earth. Perfect. I'll godsmack them.
Except for me and my family, of course.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. Have you no humanity? That's wickedness incarnate.
Hush, woman. Can't you see I'm negotiating? Let me make a deal with him. Being killed isn't my idea of a good time. Let us save a few animals. Evolution takes centuries.
That's right. Go and build an ark.
An ark?
I'm going to drown every living thing. Save a few.
How are you going to do that?
I'm going to melt the polar ice caps. Look over your shoulder.
Oh my God, the ocean is rising.
Climate change. After this, the survivors of the flood will tremble at the thought of disobedience.
Well, it's done. How do you feel? You've destroyed the world.
I'm nauseated. All those dead toddlers on the beach in pink tennis shoes. Only a few days before they were nursing in the bosoms of their loving mothers.
How you go on.
Here's a sample of your gruesome handiwork.
I found her, along with her drowned mother, father, and twin sister.
It's just collateral damage. You're being sentimental. Go now and replenish the earth.
You have got to be kidding. You want me to create more kids for you to kill?
Would you reconsider if I agree not to kill your seed?
Yes, but only with a written covenant.
Are you trying to trump me?
You can't live with us, and you certainly can't live without us. I have all the leverage. Without me, you'll have no chosen people.
Won't you take my word? I mean, it is, as they say, the word of God.
I live by the motto, trust but verify. Get me a notary.
You've mastered the art of the deal. Where do I sign?
Time passed and people the gleam, it didn't work out too well. Their nature didn't change, and God was confounded. His experiment with Joan and Noah shipwrecked. Their descendants are as incorrigible as Eve's and Adam's. So God returned to the drawing board for a third chosen people. This time he singled out Abraham.
Abraham, my child, I am going to try another chosen people experiment, this time with you. This time there will be limitless opportunities for wealth, power, and fame.
How can I speak for anybody but myself? No one elected me. Are you giving me the authority to be a dictator?
Absolutely.
If this be treason to justice, I'll make the most of it. What are the terms and conditions?
I'll make your seed fertile. I'll give you land where thou art a stranger.
Ah, there's a vision. But it could be misconstrued as aggression.
Your seed will occupy the land that stretches from the Nile to the Euphrates.
That's a lot of land for a lot of seed.
I'll take this land from the Kenites, the Kenizzites, the Cadmonites, the Hittites, the Rephaims, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Girgashites, the Jebusites, and the Perizzites.
The plebiscites, the parasites. Wow!
I'll wipe out the ites. Might makes right.
We'll be fighting forever. We'll have an unlimited supply of enemies.
Don't worry. I'll drive the resistors into the sea.
Chosen people stand taller and see farther than the non-chosen.
You're an exceptional people. You're an indispensable nation.
I follow the arrow of your logic. So you've given us the touch of providence?
That's right. I've entrusted mankind's destiny in your keeping. World order depends on you. My truth marches on. I kill, I wound, I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh.
We come, we see, we conquer.
That's right. It's simple. You give me obedience, and I give you unheard of power.
That's a great trade. We'll live forever by the sword.
Forget soft power. I prefer shock and awe, rule by fear.
Is there anything more that I have to do?
Yes, the sons of Israel can't marry the daughters of unchosen people.
Why not?
I wasn't born yesterday. I've learned my lesson with Eve. Females charm their husbands. Before long, chosen men will worship the gods of their women rather than me.
I won't quarrel with that.
Every son shall be circumcised on the 8th day.
Boy, that will certainly make us exceptional. We'll have lots of skin in the game.
Obey, or be cut off from Israel. Take his foreskin now.
Mohel reporting for duty, sire. Old man, this is sharp now. Stand still and it won't hurt. Now lift your skirt up.
Wait a minute, be careful. I'm his wife. He's got a lot more sewing to do with that.
Lift your skirt up, old man.
That's how I remember that happening too. Not to nitpick House of Israel, but I think the song is Glory, Glory, Hallelujah, not Gory, Gory, Hallelujah. But you are just reading from the script. It's okay. Last time that song was sung in Manassas was, So the covenant gave the chosen people the power to argue with God. Let's see how that works.
I've decided to destroy Sodom.
Why?
The city has gone wild with sin.
What sin?
Gambling, alcohol, women.
Is it sinful to have fun?
You betcha. I'm a jealous God. It detracts from me.
But how can you be judge, jury, prosecutor, and executioner at the same time?
That's the best definition of God I've ever heard.
If you're not careful, you'll be hated.
My covenant with Jones says only that I cannot kill everyone.
Isn't it unjust to slay the innocent with the guilty?
Jones' covenant didn't prohibit unjust killing.
If there are 50 innocent, will thou not spare the city of Sodom?
If I find 50, I'll stay my hand.
What if there are 5 less than 50? Will thou also destroy the city for lack of 5?
If I find 45, I'll not destroy Sodom.
What if there are 40?
I'll not destroy it for 40's sake.
How about 30?
I'll not destroy it if I find 30.
What if there are 20?
That's it. Not a single sake more. You get 20.
Better risk the guilty getting off than punishing the innocent. What if 10 innocents are found in the city?
Oh, all right. I'll not destroy it for 10's sake, but that's my bottom line. No, the deal is meaningless. I decide between guilt and innocence. And to my way of thinking, the not yet guilty are as guilty as the guilty. So I will destroy them all.
So Abraham stopped arguing with God and became an instrument of his will. The first married Jewish doormat in the history of the world. But his wife Sarah could not remain silent when God ordered her child's execution. And executing your son is something that's not really worth arguing with your wife about.
Abraham, I'm giving you an opportunity to prove your obedience. Take your only son Isaac to the mountain and sacrifice him as a burnt offering to me.
Anything to please you. I'm good at following orders.
I inherited Eve and Jones' playbook. I don't tremble before God. I was steeled by the agony of childbirth at 90, in case you forgot that.
Come here, Isaac. Lie down. Open your tunic. Look me in the eye.
Please, Dad, don't kill me. In the name of God, have you gone mad?
Exactly. It's in the name of God.
Didn't you plead for the innocent in Sodom?
Yes, I did.
Well, now you'll do anything to curry that God's favor, even the unjust killing of your own blood. Yahweh, if you order Abraham to murder my child, you'll unleash every woman's and mother's wrath to the end of time.
Not another woman card. I thought I was done with Eve and Joan. Motherly cackles won't save Isaac, but he will be saved by Abraham's blind obedience.
No, he'll be saved by me. Isaac, it's better to disobey and be just than to obey and be unjust. You just listen to your mother. When you have a son, you tell him about today, and you have his son tell his son, and then you have his son tell his son, and then you have his son tell his son.
Time passes. The chosen people were enslaved in Egypt for 400 years. Moses leads their exodus, but feels pangs of conscience over God's murderous ways.
Why did you harden the heart of Pharaoh? The first plague killed 10,000. The seventh killed 300,000. Then you killed 500,000 firstborn Egyptian sons.
He was off his rocker. Pharaoh thought he was God.
And he headed the world's mightiest army. But why did you force him to resist?
I wanted to show him who's boss.
Like smashing a hornet's nest so you could attack the angry hornets?
You got it.
There's no justification for killing except in self-defense.
You call it slaughter. I call it management style.
Have you no sense of decency?
It's all about winning. My ratings are soaring. So get over it.
What are those stones for?
I've put my 10 non-negotiable commandments onto 2 tablets.
Don't binding covenants require the knowing consent of both parties?
Not in my legal system.
An ultimatum is not a covenant.
In my universe, it is. Listen carefully. All my commandments are equal, but some are more equal than others. If the first 2 are strictly honored, I'll give you some wiggle room for the others. After all, you're only human.
What's the first?
The first is, I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Okay. What's the second?
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
You flunk Hebrew for redundancy. The second just repeats the first.
Stop interrupting me. I talk. You listen.
I'm sorry.
Here is the rest. I am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and the 4th generation of them that hate me.
I've got 2 problems with that. Don't talk about jealousy. It doesn't become you. And guilt by association turns people against you.
I like my power arbitrary. Here are my sermons in stone. The first tablet with my first 2 commandments. And the second tablet with the other 8 commandments.
I don't like the way things are, but at least he likes stone.
The chosen people quickly learn that they're fodder for God's killing fields.
Moses, take thy sword and go throughout the camp and slay your brother, your companion, and your neighbor.
Get a hold of yourself. It's one thing to kill Egyptians. It's another thing to kill your chosen people.
My wrath waxes hot against my stiff-necked people. Honor me.
Why do we have trials?
God doesn't do trials.
We don't even know who is guilty.
The not yet guilty are as guilty as the guilty. The jaws of power can devour anyone at any time.
You're setting a terrible precedent.
No, It's a wonderful precedent. Don't forget, I'm the only eye in the sky.
Some future rule with some future technology may kill suspected evildoers without accusation or trial, based on secret and speculative evidence.
That's the price of order. I don't do due process.
What harm did the chosen people do by worshiping another god?
They harmed me. It's all about me. It's God or nothing.
Since when is insulting your vanity a capital crime?
I've had it with chosen people. I'll kill every last one of them.
Oh, I beseech thee, turn from thy fierce wrath and repent this evil.
I'm the decider-in-chief. The law is what I say it is.
Don't you have any love for your chosen people?
What's love got to do with it?
Kill me instead.
No.
Your chosen people will be more influenced by example than by force.
Not a chance.
Like humans, you have free will. You can change.
But why should I? I hate sitting around talking. I like going out and doing big things. That's the way you get pyramids and monuments.
But you must change.
I'll send a plague against them.
How many more will you kill?
I'm not saying.
Another 1,000 have died. Will you stop now?
A provisional ceasefire is the best I could do.
40 years in the desert is a long time. I need a change of scenery. When do I enter the promised land?
How about never? Never in your calendar.
You're angry. You can't stand me arguing. But how can I win an argument if no defense is allowed?
You can't. Now go smite yourself. And gratefully let them live. Reason is my greatest enemy. Believers should tear the eyes out of their reason. I learned my lesson with Moses. I'll make my other prophets completely submissive.
God goes through 3 kings and is satisfied with each. Let's start with Saul.
As you commanded, I found Saul.
The Ammonites are acting up again. Have Saul slay them.
Don't you think we should negotiate?
No, they understand only force.
The Amalekites have also been uppity. What shall we do with them?
Utterly destroy all that they have and spare them not. Slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass.
Won't that give us enough land?
No. You'll be doing a lot of sowing. You'll need more. Have Saul smite the Philistines and the Moabites. The first shall stay first.
And the last shall stay last. I'm so grateful you put me on earth with a detailed job description.
I've done Yahweh's will. I destroyed the enemies.
But I hear the sounds of sheep and oxen.
I spared a few. What's wrong with having a feast? It's the perfect thing after a good bloodletting.
But Yahweh told you to destroy everything.
Isn't 99% good enough?
Even Adam learned the hard way, just as you will.
Learn what?
Never trouble trouble, or trouble will trouble you.
What does that mean?
Yahweh's a drill sergeant. He has 0 tolerance for disobedience.
Is he mad? I followed the letter of the law.
Yeah, wait.
Of the law.
Well, with him, only the letter counts.
But I accomplished his objective by other means.
Thinking will get you nowhere with God. What makes you think this is about thinking?
He must be mad.
No, he's fuming. He'll smite you. Bring me the king of the Amalekites. Saul defied Yahweh. He shouldn't have spared you, but I'll do as Yahweh commanded.
You killed all the Amalekites but me.
It's God's will you die. Don't worry. You'll feel lightheaded only for a moment. Let's see here.
I don't like if God said.
I don't like if God said.
To off with his head.
So off with his head.
I don't like him, God said.
I don't like if God said.
So off with his head.
So off with his head.
I gave the Hebrew people free will, but when they disobey me, I'm infuriated.
So, what are you going to do about it?
I've got a new way to Godsmack them. That's my new retribution technique. I can't think of a better way to humiliate my chosen people.
I can't either. I always agree with what you say and do.
I'll give Israel's enemies superior force until I'm obeyed.
How do you decide whether you kill directly or through enemies?
I won't answer that. The more arbitrary, the more fear. I like to call it my madman theory.
As you'll see, overthrowing kings is a tricky business, especially with a 36-page script in your left hand. Let's see how David and Yahweh bring about regime change and kill Saul.
Why battle as an army? Choose a man and let him come down. If he kills me, we will be your servants. But if I kill him, you will be ours. Give me a man to fight. A real man.
Who's this uncircumcised Philistine that defies Yahweh?
Dora, you can't fight him. You're young, inexperienced, and he's a giant. He looks invincible.
Let the dice fly high.
May God be with you.
I'll kill you. Everyone will see that Dagon is greater than your God. I'm Dagon's Terminator. Come to me. Come to me.
I'm Yahweh's Terminator. I'll strike long range. Then I'll cut off your head. And all will see Yahweh's power. So, Saul?
I follow Yahweh's example. I am jealous and craven. He embedded these in my DNA. I scheme to rid myself of David.
So here's the head of Goliath.
Father, I should like to marry this David.
David, I'll give you my daughter.
I do.
If David leads our army against the Philistines and returns with 100 foreskins, that will be his lot.
Ah.
And again, I do as you command.
6 months pass, and a triumphal David returns with 200 foreskins of murdered Philistines and 1 personal item. Their children are now fatherless, and their wives are now penniless.
Upon what meat does this David feed that he has grown so great?
Here are 200 Philistine foreskins.
That is twice what I sought. You left a boy and returned a man. Michal, he is yours.
She's my trophy wife.
The women of Israel attribute to David tens of thousands, and to me, thousands. The danger is not to see the danger. It is a contest for kinship, and there is no second place. I must find a way to kill David.
Saul apes you in ruthlessly seeking absolute power.
Excuse me. Have we met before?
I'm the ghost of Moses.
That figures. So listen up. You can't question God. I am everything, and you are only what I allow you to be.
I thought you chose me as your prophet to tell the truth.
That would be wrong again. You're my prophet to do my will, not yours.
When I signed up, I didn't give up protesting injustice.
Really?
Man, when perfected, is the best of animals, but when separated from justice, is the worst of all.
You always were an outlier. I'm furious with Isaac.
What did he do?
He told his son Jacob that I ordered Abraham to kill him.
Of course. What did you expect?
I classified that information. Top secret. Top secret. It's a bad leak. Now Jacob never stops arguing with me.
Telling truth to power is the great prophetic tradition of the Hebrew people. That's what Jacob's doing. If you weren't so murderous, we wouldn't have so much to argue about.
I never agreed to permit argument with me.
But Israel means wrestling with God.
Wrestling isn't serious. It's just entertainment.
What are you going to do about Saul's plan to kill David?
I honor warriors, not thinkers.
Both Saul and David are warriors.
David's the best warrior the world has ever seen. I'll kill Saul to protect David. Only David can expand Israel to 60,000 square miles.
How will you kill Saul?
I'll have the Philistines special ops do the dirty work.
Hallelujah.
As your commander-in-chief, my foremost duty is to keep you safe. That's part of God's unwritten covenant.
That's exactly what we want!
We are an empire, and I create my own reality. While others try to come to grips with my reality, I smash the world to pieces again. Creative destruction, that's what I call it. Behold, we are the greatest nation on earth. Without us, the world would feel alone.
Graveyards are full of indispensable men.
Land, houses, David, go take them. Smite the Moabites. Put half to death, and keep the other half as your servants.
If coveting war is a sin, I'm the most sinning man in history. Peace is dull and war is in my genes. I'm a master in the trade of blood, including that of women and children.
I can tell you've never suckled a baby. Only a savage would kill mothers of infants. Where's the glory in that?
Oh, we must slaughter the unchosen to give the chosen space to live.
Even if justice be damned?
Yes! We few, we happy few, we band of warriors, must dominate if we are to play our part in the great work of liberating and uplifting mankind.
Your drive for domination and your thirst for fame are unquenchable.
Yes, history's greatest sculptor will make me live for eternity.
But you are the scourge of motherhood.
I'm smitten by that beautiful woman. To gratify my appetites, I'd even kill her husband if she has one. Sex is the reward for power, wealth, and fame. Bring that woman to me. Some things in life are more compelling than beautiful women. I just keep forgetting what they are. I have my eyes on you.
I am Bathsheba.
You take my breath away. You are irresistible.
But I resist if you are trying to seduce me.
Oh, I can give you fame and a great wardrobe.
Calling sex affection doesn't make it so.
Sleep with me.
I'm a child of Eve. Talk to me of truth, and I'll listen.
No, truth takes too long.
Talk about justice, and I'll listen.
No, justice is in the eye of the beholder.
Talk about gentleness and chivalry, and I'll listen.
You've got to be kidding.
You've obviously used up all your charm on God.
Well, aren't you clever?
Do you respect Uriah the Hittite yet?
Yes, he's one of my ablest soldiers.
He's my husband.
Well, that is unfortunate.
Doesn't that dampen your ardor?
No.
Where's your sense of loyalty? Don't you have any?
No.
What about your 12 wives?
What about them?
Don't you care about being unfaithful?
No.
Your wives should fear you. Thank you for a wonderful evening, but this wasn't it.
I don't think you quite understand. The foreplay is now over.
How can you break God's commandment against adultery?
Moses should never have accepted that commandment.
But he did.
When I get time, I'll ask God to repeal it.
I can't sleep with someone I don't love.
Love is a second-hand emotion.
You're a beast. No, it isn't maybe. What is it about no? You don't understand.
In a man's world, no is a yes.
No! No! No!
Get in the chariot, bitch!
No!
David, you broke my commandment.
Yes, but I conquered vast and rich lands for your chosen nation.
Yes, I'll spare you, but vengeance must be paid. I'll kill your seed.
I've had tidings. I've had tidings, my king. I've had tidings, my king.
As I followed your example, now you follow mine.
I'm not done. I'll kill with 3 more days of pestilence.
So 70,000 Israelites are dead. I see you're drenched in blood again. On Mount Sinai, you killed 3,000 for worshiping the golden calf. Now your revenge is 70,000. What standard of justice are you using?
God's standard, of course. Don't worry about it.
Thou shalt not kill is a mockery. Your chosen people live in a blood-stained dystopia. Someday, another anointed chosen people will exterminate millions.
So now you're clairvoyant. Where's your crystal ball?
Our unchosen people have heads, eyes, ears, arms, hands, legs, and feeling, just like the chosen people do.
Are not the unchosen fed with the same food? The ability the chosen teach the unchosen. They will execute and with more kill you.
Hurt with the same spears and afflicted by the same diseases, killed by the same bullets, warmed by the same summer, and cooled by the same winter. As all chosen are.
If you prick them, do they not bleed?
And if you wrong them, will they not revenge? The ability the chosen, the unchosen, they will execute and with more ability than their instruction.
You have been forewarned.
God has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never call retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, strength my soul to answer him, be to relent my feet. Our God is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
about that King David, huh? Camp security is off today, so we all need to keep an eye on him after the play. Scary stuff. As you've seen, Yahweh's signature regime change still going strong. 2 kings down, 1 to go.
When you die, your son by another wife will murder me and our son Solomon. You promised to make Solomon king. Now be a man and do it.
David does what he's told, and Solomon succeeds him on the throne.
Power, wealth, fame, and beauty. That's what a good life is about. Before I die, I want to settle all the family business. Bring down to the grave the blood of those who crossed me.
A wise man doesn't quarrel with his benefactor.
As Yahweh is a jealous God.
You were a jealous king. You followed his example. And like you, I can't resist women. I love you, Dad. Now it all falls on me. Welcome, Pharaoh.
I have witnessed the gigantic growth of your population into power. I worry you may abuse your astonishing strength.
God has brought us to our present position of power for a great purpose. But Father stopped Israel at your border.
Will you do the same?
If you want things to stay as they are, you must do something for me.
Okay, how about if I give you Gazara for a non-aggression pact?
That's not enough.
Okay, I'll break Egyptian tradition and will give you my favorite daughter in marriage.
Now you're talking. She's lovely. I won't annex Egypt into the promised land.
Let's drink for a non-aggression pact.
You will make me the happiest man in the world.
So, that's what you say to all your 700 wives. I'll bet you never told the truth to any one of them. In your eyes, we're all nothing but sex objects. Flattery won't get you anywhere with me.
Come on, let's have a good time. After all, love makes the world go around.
You just confirmed all my dark suspicions about you. You married me for diplomacy, not love. I wish justice excited you as much as sex.
What do you want?
I want a temple for my golden cow.
It's yours.
Where have you been?
I must keep a constant eye on things. My 12,000 horsemen and my 1,400 chariots. Last night I had a nightmare about a military coup. What do you want?
It's degrading to be one of 700 trophies.
You have a better alternative?
You're uninterested in my intellect or my sense of justice.
Keeping power takes all my time.
You've no interest in treating me as a peer.
What would you expect? You came from Adam's rib.
You must build temple for my sun goddess and my storm god.
Can't your gods live in the same temple?
And sully their reputations?
I thought cohabiting was fashionable.
I don't have time to teach you fashion.
All right, I'll submit to your demand. I should have stopped at a dozen wives like Dad.
Solomon, your heart is no longer perfect with the God of Israel.
You're wrong.
You built a temple to the god Milcom.
Only for my Ammonite wife. It was a stroke of genius. It improved relations with the people of Ammon.
Then you built a temple for Ashtoreth and Baal.
I did it at the request of my Canaanite wife. Another stroke of diplomacy. A place of worship is appreciated by her people when they come to visit.
You built a sanctuary for the god Chemosh.
For my Moabite wife, to create goodwill among her people.
Listen, this isn't about diplomacy. This is about me. You've scorned my two most important commandments. Your non-Hebrew wives turned you away from me. Abraham, Moses, Saul, and David committed sins, but never, never did they forsake me for other gods.
Conquering vast territories creates problems. It's tricky keeping the peace.
And you failed. I am the only peace that matters.
Our occupation isn't stable. We're not winning the hearts and minds of our people. They prefer their own rule, even when it's worse.
So what?
Well, force doesn't work. I mean, it only subdues for a moment. How can I rule a nation that I must keep conquering again and again?
You killed your way into this problem.
But we can't kill our way out of it. We're slipping in all the blood we have shed.
Stop whining. You broke your covenant with me. I've summoned your enemies. The promised land is going down. A withered nation you will be.
Yahweh giveth with the sword, and now he taketh away. We fed our hearts on his vision, and our vision has grown brutal, and our hearts have grown brutal from the fair. We planted the seeds of our own destruction.
Solomon, first you fought in self-defense, then you fought in defense of allies, then you invented allies to defend, and now you fight only for the sake of fighting. All history hath but one page. Chosen people build empires, pursuing the folly of limitless power and unchained ambitions.
Why did you shrink Israel from 60,000 square miles to 6,000? What in the world got into you?
Can you believe it? After bribing them with cities and towns that others had built, they disobeyed me.
Because you treated them as mindless slaves.
I'm ending my experiment with chosen people.
What?
I'm sending the Babylonian Empire in to take all of the land of Israel.
Where will the Israelites live?
In exile?
And where will you go?
It's too early to say, but I'm out of here.
You failed 3 times. First with Adam, then with Noah, and now with Abraham. If you're so great, why did things turn out so badly?
It's all their fault. There's no one to blame but themselves.
You had the power to change your character, and influence by example, and chose not to. You must be held accountable. Let's ask them.
We did nothing wrong. You condemned all mankind for a single innocent act that harmed no one.
All we did was eat an apple.
Your flood was the worst mass murder in history.
You inflicted collective punishment on Sodom.
Why did you tell Dad to kill me?
Look, it's one of the 500,000 Egyptian firstborn sons.
You wipe this out. Every man, woman, child, ox, sheep, camel, and ass.
You murdered 3,000 Israelites for worshiping the golden calf.
Another 1,000 in 3 days of pestilence.
And 70,000 innocents for David's vices.
You murdered 25 million people in 155 mass slaughters.
I have an idea. Let's ask the audience to choose between you and me.
That's fine with me. Let's let them decide why they are here.
I used violence to prevent greater violence. Without obedience to me, there would have been a war of all against all.
So, it seems we now agree that the chosen people are a scourge to mankind. People live for power, money, fame, sex, and security.
That's right. That's why my order is the only thing that will work.
But there can be no justice with limitless power.
There's no alternative to me. It's like thinking you can repeal the force of gravity.
You're wrong. Limitless power never works. It must be diffused and fragmented, checked and balanced. Ambition must be pitted against ambition. Then no one can command the power to oppress the non-chosen.
You're dreaming. That combination of wisdom and character is very rare. It will appear far less frequently than Haley's Comet. People will never make the intellectual and moral investment necessary for such a system. It's just not sustainable.
Seeking justice is its own reward. The most splendid of sepulchres is where a person's inspiration remains eternal in the minds of the living and those yet to be born. There, on the right occasion, to stir women and men to seek justice and to cast a light that will outshine all the heavenly stars as daylight doth a lamp.
This argument is over. I'm God, you're not. So what's it going to be? Moses or me? Justice or order? His way or Yahweh?
Don't forget about me. I don't care about justice, and I certainly don't like obedience. Life's too short. I just want to have fun. Vote for me.
So that concludes Act 1 of Arguing with God. No, just kidding, stand and play. You don't need to take notes for this part 30. Now it's time to vote. Order, justice, or fun. All those who prefer order, raise your hands. Through this really healthy dry ice, I count 6 hands. All right. All those who prefer justice, raise your hands. I'm gonna guesstimate about 35 to 40.
Recount. That's injustice.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Now, all those who prefer fun, raise your hands. And the winner is justice. Thank you very much.